is it a myth? So many polarizing views around this subject. Thought it'd be a great subject for the Friday Property Mastermind Clubhouse. So every Friday we do a Clubhouse at 10 a.m. Me and Mutul Islam is the main moderators, but you get a load of moderators that come in, dip in and out each week. Always got some great property minds in there. And as I said, this week's discussion was no money down. Is it real or is it a myth? As I said, there's so many polarizing views. I posted this in the All About Property group on Thursday evening, and it had tons and tons. I just asked, is no money down, can you buy properties with no money down? And there was tons of responses in there, and very either end, and seemed quite heated, even though it was a chat underneath. So each week on the Friday Property Mastermind on Clubhouse, what I do is I take notes. The Clubhouse is a fantastic platform. It's great for collaboration, it's great for learning, it's great for connecting, it's just a good platform. Very time consuming, so you have to be careful with your time that you give around that. But the only thing, the disadvantage of it, kind of its advantage and kind of its disadvantage, is the fact it's not recorded. So if you're watching something, sometimes you catch something and you're like, what did they say? And you want to listen it back over. Or sometimes you only catch it halfway through and you think, I'd like to rewind that. I'd say that's its disadvantage, but sometimes that is kind of an advantage because it makes it a bit more exclusive. So here's an example. I've done 100% no money down. I've got a bank loan. By the way, you're not allowed to get bank loans, but the bank offered me a loan. I took that money. I paid for the solicitor fees out of that money. I paid for the deposit out of that money. And I got the property. It wasn't no money down, but it was none of my own money down. And I think this was the overriding conclusion we got from today was you can do no money down, but it's a fact of none of your own money. So I've done JV deals. I've done numerous deals with other people's money where it's not put a penny of mine in. They paid for the solicitors, Chris. They paid for everything. Yes, you needed money, but I didn't need none of my money. So it was no money for me, but it was money needed. But no matter what you do, even you do bridging finance, like create strategy where there is certain bridges that will lend on, if you can find a genuine BMV property, some bridges will lend on the purchase price, like the market price, not the purchase price, sorry. So again, but you still need to pay your arrangement fees and all your fees. So the first few deals are done. The first deal I've done as well, I refinanced, saying that there was some fees involved with that beforehand. I did refinance a property. It was an inheritance property, so I refinanced that. No, there wasn't no fees. The fees got paid out of the refinance money. So the solicitor got paid as I released the money. So the solicitor got released the money. They kept their part of the fees. I think I might have paid for valuation beforehand, saying that. But this was the overriding conclusion of today, that there is no thing as no money down, but there is a thing of none of your own money, and it could be 100% of none of your money, because if you get somebody else to invest in you, you loan money from them. Chris, I believe you've had some loans before. I've seen you post on Facebook saying paid this person back. So if you use 100% of somebody else's money for the solicitor's fees and everything, that is none of your own money. I think this was the view on some of the people that was a little bit of grievance by it, saying the way people market it, it kind of sells dreams a little bit. There was a massive discussion again around coaches and people, like there was one guy give a really nice polarizing, couldn't call it bipolar, but polarizing view, saying like most coaches haven't done anything. Most coaches, and I said, the problem is, it's like anything. Most people that have a negative experience shout about it more than people who have a positive experience. Because a lot of people are humble, you know. A lot of people who are making really loads of money are quite humble. Unless they're documenting their journey because they're trying to raise more finance to do no money down deals. A lot of people are pretty humble, just getting on with what they're doing. Where somebody don't do very well, they're always looking to point the blame and point the finger. So there was this overriding conclusion as well. A lot of people have to take responsibility for themselves. If you sign up for a course, like today, it's easier than ever to find out if the coach who's selling to you, trying to sell to you, is credible. Again, this guy that jumped up as well, he made great discussion, so I'm not criticising him. I really enjoyed his discussion in there. And I said, look, anything you'll get into, there's going to be a good and bad version of. And it was similar to the talk we talked about the other week. Went back in that direction. I said, but not all coaches are trying to sell like that. In fact, I don't. Even the ones that get named of trying to sell like that don't really sell like that anymore. There was a little period where coaches did sell like that, sell dreams. There still is a little bit of that in the industry, but it's massively getting washed out. And if you want to be a coach in today's world, you've got to do a good job, because one, the internet finds you out really quickly. Two, everybody's wary of it because everybody keeps on saying all coaches are fakes. So everybody's super wary. So you really need to do a good job, a little bit beyond just your sales techniques. Yeah, there is some salesman. Yeah, there's always going to be that element, but there's going to be that element when you buy cars. It's like saying cars don't work. Cars are no good and they don't work because you bought one car that broke down. You think every car's going to break down and every car salesman is dodgy. He's going to sell you a dodgy car, and cars don't work, you know. So yeah, you can't always get the right person first time. But it went on to this way of the discussion, but see some of the major points what we got from it. It's mindset. You can 100%, like, few options of no money or low money. So no money is just using 100% of somebody else's money. You don't need any money whatsoever. I've done that with banks. I've done it with JV partners. 100% have done that, not put a penny into a deal. I've got multiple deals where I've not put one penny into it whatsoever of my money, but it was somebody else's money. So you need money, but I just didn't put none of my money in. And I think this is the thing that everybody was saying. Now, you should say it's none of your own money. You all need money. Or you can do purchase lease options, but again, you still need the legals, you need the agreements. You're going to have to put something in, as Chris said earlier on, for your legal fees. Rent to rents, you still need to sort of pay the first month's rent. You still probably have to buy a bit of furniture. So there's little to no money options in. But the only way you can do 100% no money is if you use somebody else's money, because you're going to need money for a deal. Even with bridging, Alex was in the room and he's a broker, and he said some bridges will lend this way. You're still going to need the money for the arrangement fees, for the valuation fees. So yeah, there is little and there is no, but the only true no money is if somebody else. None of my own money, Dan, is the whole different conversation, surely. I think it's the same thing. It's obviously just not finishing the same part. It's like, well, let's try and think of an example of it, Chris. Because you don't, whether it's your money or anybody's money, if you're getting a deal with none of your money, it's no money, isn't it? It's no money down. Obviously, you're not saying none of my money, but it's still no money down by you. And I kind of get that. I think that's what the point was to it, that people are seeing in a little bit a grievance by it. But however you look at it, it still sort of means the same thing, doesn't it? You know, as I said, like, even if you get a bank loan, it's like people saying, oh, I've bought a house. You haven't. The bank's bought 75% of that house. You own 25% of it. So it's not really your house then, is it, either? So you say I own a portfolio. Most people say I own a portfolio of £1 million. No, they probably don't. They probably own a portfolio worth £250,000 because they've got 75% gearing on it. So where do you stop with it, you know? But I get your point, Chris, and that's what really really come through on this. It's just the language that people use to sell education in the thing that is misleading, I feel. Yeah, absolutely. And that is the main grievance, I think, with it. Of course, there is, depending, no matter how you terminology it, if you're not using your money, whether you say it's none of my money or it's no money, it's still the same thing. It's just the intention that some people have used it in the past, I think, that gives people the massive grievance, and rightly so as well, when people have misused it in that way. I've had a good few none of my money deals agreed. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. And that's the point of it. You can't buy any deal with no money, whether it's the bank's money, whether it's a refinance, whether it's a loan, whether it's a loan for somebody else, JV partner. That is the overviewing point. On JV, I've been the builder and not shot any of my money in, but the key is it's not my money, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it should be. That is the overriding conclusion from it. Yes, agree with Paul. It's misleading wording to get training, sign-ups, think they can become free overnight without lifting a finger. Absolutely, yeah. And it got misused for a period of time. I don't think it's misused as badly. I know tons and tons of trainers, and there's only a small fraction of trainers that do misuse it now. Got misused for a little while. I think so many people got called out on it. Like, and so many people are coming into this space, don't want to be tarred with that, so they're very careful about using these buzzwords incorrectly, you know. Best people to ask about a coach, his existing clients, even better, his former clients. Absolutely. But the thing is, exactly that, Paul, there's so much research out. So many people moan about a coach. And the funny thing is, all of them, even the ones that get the worst criticism, I'm not going to name names, you see the success stories with them and people who wasn't successful. And quite often, not all the time, some people have missold, some people are pressure sold, but quite often it's a difference between that person's action steps, not necessarily the course. You know, some courses are designed better to help people take action and keep them accountable, granted, but yeah, what makes some people make it and some others not make it? Harvey the Cockney geezer furu, someone tried to say before on the forum. Yeah, absolutely. No, Barrow Boy. It's not the Cockney, it's the Barrow Boy, even though obviously that means Cockney, but yeah, very funny. The £1 million portfolio sounds better though. Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's still misleading, isn't it? So yeah, I've got £1 million portfolio, you know, and yeah, like, where do you stop with it? You know, I think the fact is, the way when it gets misused, I think if you say it and you've got no misintentions from it. If I said to somebody, look, I've done a no money down deal, I've got no misintentions, I'm not just trying to collude them into something, then it's fine. If I say to them, I've got £2 million portfolio, even though I've got about 55% gearing on that, I don't think it's wrong if you it depends what intention you're trying to put behind it, you know. But yeah, interesting. Fuck Clubhouse, man. Paul, get back on, mate. You missed. Get on there. Freddie's agreed. Are you agreed that fuck Clubhouse, or you agreed about the no money down stuff, Freddie? Interesting debate. Get back on, Paul. I think I'm gonna run a little. I'm gonna try and jump in your group. I can't do polls at the moment. I'm gonna run a little survey in your group, Paul, and try and get a little rally together and a little petition to get you back on there, mate. You missed on there, but yeah, back to the point. Look, the ways you can do low on none of your own money is lend money from people, PLOs, second charges on properties that you're existingly got. You know, you can second charge a property, but again, it's the bank's money, somebody's money somewhere along the line. You know, I guess a true no money is an inheritance. I guess if you inherited a property unencumbered, that is true no money. But somebody did buy it originally, so you could even rewind backwards to that, you know. So assisted sales, there's little money in. There's lots and lots of strategies out there. But again, I've written this down loads of times. None of your own money, it's other people's money. But kind of the same thing, but depends on the intention where you use for that. And again, it's the selling the dreams. Go through my final notes. But just because something's missold, don't mean it's not right. Just because someone's used it to missell something, don't mean that it's not actually right. Like, if somebody can missell something, shouldn't discredit what is actually happening. With the market as stretched as it is currently, do you see creative ways as the 2001 method for purchasing via traditional? I think, yeah, anytime you've got to be a bit more creative. But yeah, creative, potentially adding more money in different sort of forms, trying to be a bit more creative, absolutely. You've definitely got to try and think outside the box this year. Definitely stretched, crazy. I've been in property for over a decade and I've never seen a market like this. Even, I didn't get into property in the last boom before this, but it still was very different. It's just the stock levels that makes this very, very different. Even the time when the last time the market grew crazily up to 08 is because the bank was bucketing money out the doors. So there was still quite a lot of stock. People was just passing through a lot of properties, but it was growing because of the level of lending, the free cash that was getting piled on people without many checks. That's what pushed the price up, not the low levels of stock. Today we're in a completely different market. There's low levels of stock, which is driving the market upwards, and we're not getting a chance to replenish it. No such thing as no money down deals. I think some trainers use this to their advantage to sell courses to newbies. Absolutely, I think some do, but I think it's a very small minute of that, and I think lots of trainers get tarred with the same brush because a small amount do that. But yeah, absolutely, people have used it over the years. There is none of your own money, but yeah, I think some people have missold them dreams a little bit. But but the large thing was, again, a few people said this in the group, it's still down to people to look. In today's world, there's like in any industry you go in, or you're going to buy a car or do anything, you can go online, go in groups, find out who's trained with Paul Tinker. You can ask a load of questions, you'll get a bit of feedback from people. You can ask who's trained with Progressive, who's trained with these places, and you will get feedback. There's no real excuse in today. I know some, unless you get really precious sold in that environment. But there's not loads of excuses today. Like, some people have got to take a level of responsibility, and I find a lot of people as well have took courses on, the training's been fine, but because they've not took action and they feel bitter about it and they feel just crapping themselves and not taking action, they're always looking to blame someone else. This is not in every case, but it does happen a lot. Chris, my thoughts is because of the lack of probate, no court, and the lack of repossessions, again, COVID ban, this makes up a large chunk of general housing stock. Yeah, absolutely. The fact that as well is combined with when the market shut down last year, there was no re-instructions to the market, and there was a few transactions going on. And when the market reopened again, nobody was doing really viewings. Nobody was really getting agents in to do instructions. The agents had a load of stock that they was trying to get out the door as well, and they sold all their stock and didn't replenish them. And it's never replenished since then, you know. And there's a pent up demand. It's got out the door. When with the stock was going anyway. Then they added the stamp duty to that, to throw a little bit of more fire on the fuel. And then with all this extended money going into the pockets of people not spending as well, staying at home, a lot of people are not eating out, commuting. So the people that haven't been affected and lost their jobs, a lot of people got more money in their pocket as a result of this, because they're not going on holiday, they're not even doing miles in their car, spending petrol. So yeah, there's more money in people's pockets. They're sitting at home, they're thinking, oh, could I have a bigger house? Then the media's fueling it a lot as well. We'll just never caught up with it. Then the fact that, as you said, repossessions, there's a load of ingredients. I don't think there's one overall riding thing, but there's loads of ingredients that's fueling this. I was waiting for your call yesterday, Chris, as well. I thought you was going to phone me up with some great deals, but I yet to have it. Maybe I was engaged or something. But yeah, that's the overriding conclusion of that. Was you can do deals with no money, but it's none of your own money. And I think it's just the fact that it's been misused in the past that gives everybody a grievance, and rightly so as well. But there's 100% none. You can do deals with none of your own money. I've done lots of them, but you have to use some money, whether that's the bank's money, whether that's somebody else's money. Money has to come from somewhere. So please join us next Friday. I'm going to see if I can rally around a little petition to get Mr. Paul Tinker back onto Clubhouse. And yeah, Chris, jump on there next week. Join in the discussions. It's a great platform for that. The crap thing is, as I said, it's not recorded, but I'll come here with the recording. Always give a free giveaway in my Clubhouses. So this week's giveaway was a free deal proposal. If you want to do no money down, this is the perfect one. If you use this deal proposal, you're going to get loads of none of your money. It's other people's money, like tongue-in-cheek joke. Look out for my free masterclass this Sunday as well. We'll teach you how to be an investable investor. But again, it all counts of being other people's money. There's no stream setting with what I do. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of consistency. And that's where most people go wrong, is they don't keep the consistency there. And unfortunately, a lot of people then try and point the finger. They just don't make a consistent effort for a long enough amount of time, unfortunately. But join me Sunday for the free masterclass. It's 11 a.m. It's in this group. It'll be on there for 48 hours, unlike the normal Sunday trainings. This is my normal webinar that I usually do over Zoom. Thought I'd do it for this group and test it out, see how it's responded there. Got some good sign-ups for that. Join me this 11 a.m. It'll be on here for 2 days. But if you turn up early, there's a competition. It's a genuine competition. It's a digital training program. It's got a stand with it. It's got a mic. It's got a little light with it. It's got a little kit for your own studio kit, and it teaches you how to raise investment for doing none of your own money deals. So yes, it's £165. It's genuine products as well, not one of the ones I'm pretending it's worth that. We've been sending about one a week and getting good feedback from it. We give a money back guarantee, and nobody's asking for their money back, so that in itself is feedback. Take it. But yeah, join us, turn up early for the chance of winning that £165 prize. We'll get you to interactively do something in the group, and it'll be a little competition. So then the winner will win this. And yeah, remember, mindset and belief is what's going to hold you back around a lot of things. And if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms. Please join us next Friday. I'm not sure what the discussion is. Any suggestions, stick it in the comments. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.